So now we have a sitting president who constantly talks about defending democracy and a former president who both ignore our most important traditions, what makes us different as Americans. George Will's here, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, also NewsNation contributor. I think I speak for a lot of Americans when I say, can't we do better than these two? It would be easy, though. Look, you and I both share some of the same views in love of our country. To say, hey, you've got an old guy and a guy who's old at heart. They just don't get how politics has changed and things don't mean the same anymore, and on and on.
Well, Mr. Trump has a well-advertised, and he's rather proud of, his disregard of certain norms that are part of our politics. Mr. Biden has perhaps a physical, mental reason for wanting to avoid the possible mistakes on a hugely lit stage with 80 million people watching. We didn't have debates until the invention of broadcasting, but even after the invention of radio and then television, there were no presidential debates until 1960. Then, 16 years passed before the second. Since then, it has been firmly established as part of the norms of presidential politics. So if these fellows think they can escape that, they're very much mistaken.
There's been so much made, and I think rightfully so, about Donald Trump skipping the Republican primary debates. Nothing made of Joe Biden skipping the Democrat process, really, and trying to shut down any type of challenges against him. What's going to happen? And let's just take the most probable outcome of the primaries, that you've got a Biden versus Trump rematch. How is it going to be looked at? Will there be media pressure for the two of them debate? How would the media put pressure on Donald Trump if they don't also put pressure on Joe Biden?
They'll put them on both. They'll say that both men are short-circuiting for their reasons. Each has reasons, but each reasons are disreputable because whatever they're doing, they're hiding from the American people. Now, whether or not this debates with these formats test real presidential skills, that's an argument for another day.
You say that, though, but you think about those moments, and I know you laughed at a couple of them, especially Reagan, I paid for this microphone. But then you think about some of the past. Reagan talking about his age, how quickly he was able to respond, and then the famous, Jack Kennedy. Take a listen.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Yeah, it wasn't uncalled for. He was the one who made Quayle was the one who made the reference. This would be the question. You say whether debates are a test of the required skills to be president. Why is it that these moments, if they're not tests, endure so long? Why is it that we trace back elections turning on debates if they're not a test?
Because in some ways they do turn on them. Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford stood there frozen when the microphones went out. Both men didn't seem to have grace in handling the moment. In one of his debates, Ford said that he would not concede that Eastern Europe and Poland were dominated by the Soviet Union. We don't know what he was trying to say, but the Polish people didn't
appreciate that. I'm going to give you the last 20 seconds. Was there a clear winner last night other than Donald Trump?
Everyone loved Chris Christie, but people love Chris Christie for saying things that have driven his approval among Republicans down to 25%.
Only he had ran in 2012.
DeSantis had a good night. He was vigorous and all, and I think Nikki Haley is still trying to figure out how to live as the front runner when everyone's piling on.
Yeah. Well, we will now pick up with Ron DeSantis. Good to see you, sir. Thank you as always. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.